Hello and welcome. I wanted to do a little video on a series of games that I played against a certain individual. Just queuing up on the ladder and played a little TVP, and I learned a very valuable lesson from this short series, and that is when cheese fails, cheese harder. So, hopping into the first game, I queued up against him, just randomly queued up against him on ladder. It's Mr. Savi up here in the top right. I'm playing on my cheese account, my good old master's account, and we're going for the proxy 4 racks. So, immediately send an SCV across. Second SCV, or the first SCV that I build, goes across as well. Supply depot, take another SCV at about 26 seconds, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on the distance of the map. First barracks goes up, and he goes for gateway and then scout. I haven't really done this on this map, so I'm not really familiar with the probe pathing. Unfortunately, in this case, he goes right on by, but he does not immediately see it. He sees it on his mini-map, and then double checks, sees what's going on, makes a second gateway immediately. Doing all the right things to try and hold this off. Tries to harass my SCV a little bit. Doesn't end up working for him. Anyway, Marines are on the way. For him, he's getting the Cyber Core. As soon as that finishes, he will have Stalkers on the way. So, in a situation where I know I've been scouted, what I like to do is, I know that he is currently working on immediately getting up a defense. So, what I do is attack earlier than I normally would have, because I need to try and do some damage before his defenses get up. So, with this first Marine and a couple of SCVs, I try and dive on in. I build a bunker on the bottom in case he already has units out. He does not, so I cancel it and dive right on in. Good probe pull, trying to buy out as much time as possible. The two stalkers get out. The battery is going to finish. He just kites and kites and kites. And I don't have enough Marines to push him back into a corner to where I can kill him. He can just kite me until all my Marines are dead. Not that it matters, because he has a shield battery now. So, I type GG, tap out, and queue up another ladder game. Well held by that individual. After that, queue up again, and what do I know? It is the same player, Mr. Savi, again. I'm thinking, well, shoot, if I'm going to proxy racks again, I need to do something a little bit different. So, in this case, instead of proxy 4 racks, I'm going to go proxy 3 racks with bunker. Now, a nice little touch that I like to do. In the previous game, you may have noticed I typed GLHF like this with a little emoji. In this game, I typed it differently. Just in case he didn't notice that he was playing somebody else, I typed it differently, and unfortunately he did notice that he played the same person again, so it doesn't really matter, but just something I like to do, so I thought I'd point it out. SCV rolling down, makes 1 racks, 2 racks, and the third. Basically the same build order. Only difference really is that I'm gonna skip the 4th barracks, bring that SCV up here, and start working on a bunker. I want to try and get this bunker up, because if this bunker finishes right here, it's gonna be pretty tough for the Protoss to hold. He sees me throwing up the bunker and starts harassing my SCV, pushes it away, so I run back until this Marine catches up. The Marine's going to escort him so that he can start to working on that bunker. They chase the SCV wisely, and then this is probably his mistake. If he kept harassing that SCV and killed it before chasing these Marines, he may have actually been able to stop this rush from happening, but he decided to go for the Marines. Marines buy the SCV a lot of time, get a whole lot of that bunker done. Doesn't quite finish it, that's okay. Got 2 more SCVs coming in. First Stalker pops out right on top of my Marine, so he immediately has to run away to try to keep that alive. Which again, buying me more time to get the bunker up. Bunker is now up, and this is gonna get pretty rough for him to hold. Even with the shield battery overcharge, I just repair the bunker, keep it alive. He does eventually kill the SCVs, but his bunker is getting really low on energy. And once his bunker runs out of energy, we chase him in the corner, kill the remainder of his stalkers. More reinforcements constantly pouring in. No GG, no skill, taps out, and leaves the game. So I was pretty happy that I was able to turn that in from a loss into a win by making a simple adjustment. The issue is, I queue up on ladder again, and what do you know? It is the same guy 3 times in a row. So I'm thinking, well, at this point, he knows what I'm trying to do. He knows that I'm probably going to do some sort of Marine rush, and he is going to blind hard counter it. So I need to do something different. I need to do something cheesier, which there isn't a whole lot more cheesy than the Proxy 4X. That's literally as all in as it can possibly get. But we find a way. I'm gonna build a supply depot, send a SCV for a proxy, to get me a double gas. Barracks being built in the main. And this proxy boy is gonna run up here, build me a factory. So what am I doing? Factory proxy, typically, especially in this position, typically that means a Widow Mine drop. And that is exactly what I'm doing. But a Widow Mine drop, you may say, that's not that cheesy. And normally I would agree. Widow Mine drops are not that cheesy, but there's more to this than a Widow Mine drop. So what did he do? He's, let's rewind a little bit here. He, hard blind countered the proxy Marine all in. He's got 2 gateways constantly pumping stalkers. He's got a battery he's ready to hold. Then he saw there were no Marines, so he sent out his stalkers to look around, see what's going on, and finds this. So I'm going to try and position this Widow Mine to defend the factory. Notice I put it in a bad spot. I pick it up, move it, burrow it, and at this point he just runs away. He knows what's coming. He just goes to his main base to defend the Widow Mine drop. So at this point I have sold the story that I wanted to sell. He thinks I am going for this harassment of proxy Widow Mine drops. But now we're grabbing a tech lab, so more is coming. There we go. Medevac is out. The Widow Mine drop does not actually have to do anything. The only thing it has to do is sell the idea that I'm just doing a little Widow Mine harass. I fly in, he's got his stalkers in position, I fly away, and that's that. The job is done. Unless he comes over here and sees what else I'm doing, this has been successful. So I got a tank popping out, I got a Liberator popping out, I got double racks producing Marines at home popping out. They're gonna march right across the map. More tanks and Liberators on the way. Of course I get supply block because I suck at this game, but that's besides the point. So why do I want to keep these Widow Mines alive instead of diving on his workers? Let's find out. I'm going to send the Widow Mines over here and burrow. While I do that, set up a Liberator and tank up here. So now, what he wants to do with all these stalkers is flank my tanks and nail them from the side. But now, he's going to get a rude awakening when he flies into the 2 Widow Mines. Bada bing, bada boom. Now they die, they just evaporate. And here we go. He does pick off the Liberator, but the tanks are the most important part. That tank does not want to siege up. There it goes. Get the SCV on repair duty. Reposition the Widow Mines so they're even closer to really cut off the reinforcements if they want to try and flank. Marines are rolling up now. More tanks, more Liberators joining. Marines going up to the high ground. This is getting hectic. He's running out of options. He tries to move in. His poor Immortal takes a Widow Mine shot, but he's got a shield battery. It's not the end of the world. Clears up the Widow Mines. Tries to clear up the Marines, but they fall back. He's going for one last-ditch effort. He's going to try and take the Immortal in flank, but it doesn't matter because the tanks are coming up to the high ground with Marine and Liberator support. The Immortal comes in for a tank, but it gets picked up immediately and dropped into the high ground, saved. He taps out. Again, no GG, no skill. He never had a chance. He was defending the wrong kind of cheese. But what he didn't know is something even cheesier was coming. So, like I said, when cheese fails, cheese harder.